Yo guys, it's Vin. Today I'm going to be finally recording one of the most highly requested videos in the history of this channel, which is how to master sword. So I'm going to be giving you a few tips on how to get better at this weapon. Let's just get into the video. The first tip that I have for sword players is to kind of rethink when you sidelight. Just because sidelight is a very long move with a big hitbox doesn't mean that the attacking range of your move, the optimal attacking range, is necessarily extended. For example, you kind of want to be sidelighting still when you're really close to your opponent. I mean, on a basic level, if you sidelight really close to your opponent, it can make it very easy to follow up with another move. But also, sidelight is still really reactable. If you do it from too far away, there's no way your opponent is going to get hit by this, especially if you don't have stage control. Let's pretend that this Bodvar is here, right? And I try to dash sidelight him. He has the entire stage behind him that he can not even have to use a dodge. He doesn't have to use a jump. He can just walk away from me, right? In that case, I say a lot of times it's better to try to use your sidelights when your opponent is on this end of the stage and you have the stage control, right? I may link my stage control guide, which is it's in the description. I talk a lot about this kind of stuff there. But generally, if your opponent is on this side of the stage, there's only so many places that they can run. For example, if I throw out the sidelight here, my opponent can either go off stage, but now he's in an edge guard situation, and I can pressure him from the ledge, which I'll talk about later. He'll either have to do that, he'll have to jump, right? He'll have to burn a dodge. But basically, the whole idea is that he can't just stand at me and use no options and outspace my sidelight, right? He has to react to the sidelight. So if I can say anything about this move, yes, it's very big, it's very good, but be careful of when you use it. Try to save it for when you're close to them, because then it's literally unreactable. My next tip is maybe one of the most important things I'll say in this video, which is don't GC too often. A lot of sword players will GC Dlight. They'll also GC sidelight at a higher level, but in my opinion, like, GCing is already super dangerous, especially with new experimental dodge features, which I'm pretty sure are going to be graduated soon. It makes basically you don't have a dodge for ages now, and that's very dangerous. The meta is going to shift towards string weapons, and if you burn a GC for no reason and you miss, that's already so much damage that can be done on you. GCing generally is a very defensive mechanism. In my opinion, it's only good to GC punish if, let's say, this Bodvar, I'm going to try to control him for a second, right? If this Bodvar is throwing out a Sair, right? A dash jump Sair. This is something factual, right? You can react to this dash jump Sair. You know that this is coming out. The thing that I can do to react to this dash jump Sair is jump, spot dodge it, and then cancel it into a Dlight combo. And the reason why this is better as a defensive mechanism is, well, you can react to the dash jump Sair because you know it's happened. They can't cancel their move, so you know that you can definitely spot dodge it, and they're still going to be in recovery frames, so you can cancel your spot dodge and get some damage on them back. Now, GC Dlight is a very strong option because yes, it's a true combo starter, it hits low, it's perfect for gravity canceling, but this is exactly why a lot of sword players fall into the crutch of using it all the time. There's no reason why you should be approaching with dash jump GC when, first of all, Dlight is not an approaching tool, right? You don't want to be running at people like this. This is very reactable, it's very easy to escape. And second of all, yeah, you don't know that your opponent is going to do anything, right? If your opponent hasn't done anything yet, who's to say that they can just avoid you and then punish your Dlight, right? If you miss. On the same note, when people say that GC sidelight is very good for approaching somebody because it catches people both on the ground and in the air, yes, it is. I definitely condone using GC sidelight as a mix-up. But if you're going to use it all the time, I don't know if that's necessarily the safest option. If you're going to GC sidelight, like, why would you GC sidelight when you can just sidelight and it kind of covers the same area, right? If you know they're going to jump, why would you waste a dodge with the GC sidelight when you can instead dash jump Sair or kind of run up to them and falling nair or something like that, right? There's all these other different options on the weapon because it's such a versatile weapon. Now, my third tip is pressuring more from the edge instead of always going off stage. I've talked about this in another video, which I'll link in the description as well, edge guarding tips, but just because sword ground pound is really fast doesn't mean you should always use it, right? This is a very linear edge guard. I mean, literally, you literally travel in a straight line. even if you want to go off stage and they have no options and you know you can confirm it, doing dares, mixing in falling dares and rising dares are much better because, you know, it's less linear, it's a lot harder to react to, and especially if you're mixing them up well. But even then, if your opponent has options, if they have a dodge, there's just no reason to really go off stage, right? Because who's to say that they won't just dodge through you, especially at a higher level? You can get so much pressure from just holding your guard on the edge. First of all, Dlight. It's low. It covers very like this, and you can do a Dlight into a Sair to send them back off stage again. If they have no dodge, you can do a Dlight into a ground pound, which we'll talk about later. But also, you can bait with Dlight. You can do Dlight into Nlight, and that's also very solid. A lot of times, people, if you throw out the Dlight, they will try to recover into you at lower elos, and you can kind of stuff out the recovery by immediately Nlighting. If they're in red, they'll get sent all the way out here, they'll have no options, and now they'll waste their dodge, now you can ground pound them, or falling dare, or whatever. But also, there's other options too. I mean, you don't just have to stand here, Dlight, Nlight. I mean, that's boring. If you Dlight, and they try to go high, you can jump Sair. Another thing that I like to do is stand on platforms, falling Sair like this. Maybe sometimes I short hop, I go like this, I falling Sair. Or I short hop, and instead of falling Sair, I mix them up and I do an Nlight. Maybe if I have a clip right now, I'll show you it. Dude, my sword goes so stupid. What the heck? So yeah, definitely try to experiment with going off stage maybe sometimes, and a lot of times maybe just staying on the edge and seeing how your opponent reacts. Now my fourth tip is to optimize your Dlights. I've said it many times in this video that Dlight is a very good move. It's a true combo starter, it's decently quick, it hits low, but it also has a lot of stringing potential and optimization if they don't have a dodge. Now, especially when the experimental dodge features get graduated, if they stay in the state that they do, where you don't get your dodge back forever, you can do so many things. Right now, if you catch them without a dodge off stage, do a Dlight into a ground pound. This will secure stocks so fast. Not to mention character sig things like Dlight side sig on Thatch and Jiro is very good. It used to be Dlight D-sig on Bodvar, but I'm pretty sure that became jumpable. But also, every character has access to things like Dlight ground pound. Even double Dlight ground pound is just another thing that adds more damage, and who doesn't want more damage if you know you can confirm it. They're also way more practical. Not that the other things aren't practical, but there are really good 3-piece true combos on Sword. A really good one that comes to mind is Dlight Dare into... what is it? Dlight Dare into GC Nlight. This is confirmed. It's actually a true combo, by the way. At a certain health, if you do it quick enough, yeah, just like that, like around 140. You don't even have to use it. You can just do a platform cancel. And by platform cancel, I mean literally just Nlight on the platform. And that will be true at an even bigger damage range, maybe like 120 or 130 or something like that. There's literally no reason to not go for this. There used to be other Dlight combos, like Dlight Dare into recover like that. It's still true, but in my opinion, there's just not as much of a reason to go for it, because I believe Dare has less stun now, or maybe not Dare, but recovery. It's just know that it's much more difficult to hit Dlight Dare into jump recovery. So you can still go for it, but I don't know. I just don't see as much of a reason for it. Alright guys, my fifth and final tip, I don't even know why I added a transition for it, but it's just to use Nlight more. I've talked a lot about Sidelight, I've talked a lot about Dlight, but in the end of the day, Nlight is going to be your quickest and safest stacked option. A lot of people, they know that Dlight is good on Sword. They try to use it way too much, I'd say. If you have someone who misses a move and you're slightly too late on your Dlight, you're gonna get punished. The Nlight comes out on like, what, frame 5? And it has a huge hitbox, especially because, yes, the Dlight hits very low. So even if you're close enough to hit them, the jump, it's like, what, 2 frame startup or something like that? Your jump, they're gonna jump out of it, right? Even if you're slightly late, you throw out an Nlight, it has multiple swings, right? This will catch spot dodges sometimes if you're a little bit later. But yeah, it'll catch jumps. It'll catch punishes way later than a Dlight will. Even if you're not going for optimal damage, it's still a good hit. You know, one hit is better than no hits if you miss the Dlight, right? Anyway, that's all I pretty much had to say. Again, sword is a really simple weapon, but it's really hard for me to narrow down just 5 things to say. Let me know what you guys think. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I guess see you guys next time. Bye.